Hello, this is an audio interview with Father Czerniak. He recently became an ordained priest in Poland in July of 2019. He currently works at Crane Prep as a Jesuit. So, hello, Father.
Hello, Justin.
Where in Poland are you originally from?
I come from Lublin. This is east part of Poland, a little bit on south. That's a city of 30,000, 300,000 people, something like that.
Have you always been Catholic?
Yes, I was born and raised in a Catholic family, as the majority of Polish people, I guess.
Were you always involved in the church growing up?
Yes, actually I was the altar boy. When I started when I was 8 years old, something like that. Then I was reading the readings at the church.
Was it like pressure from your parents that got you involved, or was it just yourself that you wanted to be involved?
It wasn't really a pressure. My brother did it, and he's 10 years older than me, so I saw him doing that. And that was kind of an inspiration.
What really inspired you to become a Jesuit?
When I was in high school, I met the Jesuits for the first time in my life, and they came to my school and invited us to take part in spiritual exercises, 3 days in silence. So I was like, maybe I would try and check if I can handle 3 days in silence. And I came, and that was a big turnover in my life, a lot of silent prayer with Bible and starting to believe that Jesus is alive. And I got it thanks to Jesuits. So I guess that was the main reason why I became Jesuit.
So, did you go to a Catholic high school?
Not at all. No, that was public high school. Actually, in Poland, the Catholic education, it's not so developed like here in the United States. Because the country is mostly Catholic, we have just religion classes in public schools, and there is not many Catholic schools.
So then, what was the most challenging part of becoming a Jesuit?
That's a tough one. I guess that leaving my family wasn't so tough, but just leaving behind your old life and actually taking this step in the future, and you don't know the future and you are not sure if it's your way or not, but you just take a risk and you try and you believe that God guides you. So yeah, this step of trust, I would say.
What's your favorite part about becoming a Jesuit?
It's a community. I like community life, not being alone, but share what we have and try to find our way to find God in all things and share our lives. Yeah.
So then, do you have anything to say to sort of maybe people are thinking about just becoming a Jesuit? Do you have anything to say to them in terms of like advice or?
I would say that if you think that you would like to do that, just believe in yourself and have trust and just do it. And if it's not your way, you will resign one day, being in novitiate or something. But I think that for me, the crucial was that I decided to do that, I tried to do that, and here I am, and I like my life. And if I didn't do this decision, if I didn't take this decision, I would regret, I guess.
One of the parts of your job as a Jesuit would just to be like go to France or come to the United States and live in the community here. What is it like to be home away for this long?
Actually when I left my family, I went to the novitiate. That was first 2 years when I was out of my family life. And then I spent 3 years in Krakow, again, out of my home city and my family. So going to France for 2 years wasn't so difficult, so challenging. Of course, it was because the new environment and the new language and new culture. So that was kind of challenging stuff. But, I find it exciting, actually, just getting to know new people and getting to know new cultures and language and being in this environment. It's something which gives me excitement, joy.
So would you have any advice for people who are maybe thinking of living in new countries, like better ways for them to adapt to the culture and the atmosphere in general?
Oh yeah. Just stay open, open mind and open heart, and get to know the people and get to know the culture. Try to understand. Do not critique, because mostly we critique when we don't understand. So do not critique, just wait, watch, observe, listen, and just be in this total immersion.
What was it like working in France? What was your maybe most memorable time working in France?
So I worked in high school, like here, but that was a co-ed high school. And I was there for 2 years. And I worked in the campus ministry. I guess that the most significant time at the campus ministry was to go with students to Lourdes. That's the shrine in France, and we took care for older and handicapped people over there. That's a shrine, Marial shrine, and it's famous because of the healing masses, and people were healed over there. So being there with students and seeing how their faith is developing. Another good experience was going to Thèse, that's the ecumenical community in east-south France, and they pray a lot with singing psalms, and it's really nice music and great experience with young people over there. Yeah, I think that these were two the most memorable experiences.
So then now you are here at Prep, and what's just basically the biggest adjustment that you have to make from living in France or in Poland to living in the United States?
I think it was driving. When I came here, I didn't have my driving license. I had my own from, European, but it's not valid in here. And driving is mostly the same, and it's much easier in here. But at the beginning, when I didn't have, this access to the car, I couldn't drive by myself. I felt kind of like in a prison, like you cannot go anywhere by yourself. That was a big adjustment. But then I got my driving license after 2 months maybe, and I felt a big change.
Basically, what does it mean to be a Jesuit to you?
It's to try to serve people, and you try to find God in all things. That would be the essence, I would say. Service and finding God. And then, of course, you don't tell that, but I believe that I invested my most beautiful years of being a young person, like my 20s, to the society, and Society of Jesus gave it back to me. I mean, the Society of Jesus, Jesuits, invested in my development, personal development. And, I've got my studies, I've got a lot of spiritual direction. I was in France, I am in the United States, I speak those languages. And I think that I received a lot. So being a Jesuit is like, on the one hand, you give and you try to serve, but actually you receive much more. So that's the school of receiving gifts from the outside.
Now, you recently became ordained. Could you please explain more on the steps to becoming an ordained priest?
As a Jesuit, your first thing you do is you live your religious life, the vows of chastity, poverty, and obedience. And that's the base of your life. And then some of the Jesuits are brothers, and the rest are priests. And the people who are not brothers, but are in training to be a priest, like Mr. Kennedy right now. They have to get through the studies, and first philosophy, then theology. And then finally they got ordained deacon first, transitional deacon, which takes 10 years or something, 2 years of novitiate, 3 years of philosophy, then 2 or 3 years of regency. That's what Mr. Kennedy is doing right now. And then theology studies. And then after theology, you got ordained. You are a transitional deacon for a year. You start another studies. And after 1 year, you become ordained. That's the way.
So what would be the most challenging part of becoming an ordained priest?
Maybe it's a little bit stupid, but people start to call you father, and I'm not really used to it. I like my name, and I like people call me with my name, but I understand that people want to show the respect, and so this adjustment is a little bit challenging. And the other one is, I remember my first Mass, and that was something like, oh man, I have never done it before, and I don't know what to do. And you just need a good Jesuit on your right side who will show you where in the book you should read stuff and what to do. So you have to practice. And that was challenging. But then being in front of people and hearing the confessions, that's a really nice part.
Could you please explain more about your first Mass? What was it like? Where were you at?
So that was in my hometown at the Jesuit church over there. And my family came. We had many friends who came as well. And many Jesuits came as well. That was a really festival time, I would say. And, great emotions. And I just understand that those people came because of me, actually. They wanted to pray with me and they love me, and that was really touching. And another thing was we had a lunch just right after that was on the open space just in front of the church, chicken breast, things to eat, so that was quite a festival, having fun.
What's your favorite part about being an ordained priest?
I think that listening to the confessions, because people come and they put trust in you, like they believe that you can listen to them and you can pray with them and you can give the absolution and reconcile with God in this way. So this trust which is put to me, that's something powerful.
How would you describe the emotions that you feel when someone comes to you for a confession?
I am really grateful that people want to come, that's the first thing, and that they put this trust on me, and then that they are open to talk about difficult things in their lives. That's making me more humble. Like, who am I to do that? Yeah, being humble, I guess. It's not me, it's not about me, it's about God and those people who come and the relationship.
What do you see yourself doing in the future now that you're ordained?
I guess that's when I finish my assignment here at Creighton Prep, I will go back to Poland and I will work in a high school. At the beginning, I guess it will be much more like a theology teacher or campus ministry, a spiritual father. Then one day, I guess, a principal or president of school. Probably that will be my way.
What advice would you give people who maybe they feel that they want to grow closer to God, but they don't feel close to God right now? What advice would you give them?
I would say, try to be open to the motions in your heart. Like, God is working all the time in the world and he's present in this world, and just try to look for him, try to see him in the creation, in other people, in yourself, and stay open and believe that he is there. Yeah. That's it.
Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Actually, I don't know. I think that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you for sitting down with us today, Father Czerniak.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, Justin.
And good luck with your future, whatever you decide to do in the future as a priest now. And congratulations on your ordination.
Thank you very much.